What's up guys, it's Average Ol, making average content for the average viewer, and today I want to talk to you guys about Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and more specifically, the reasons that I believe that Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War will be better than Modern Warfare, at least as far as the multiplayer is concerned. Now I know that I haven't been about for the last 2 weeks making videos, I've had some real life stuff to deal with, but I mean, why the fuck do you guys care? You don't. So, let's kick it off with the first thing that I think is going to make this game better than the last, and that is the map design. So you might remember, if you followed me for a while, in the lead up to Modern Warfare's release, I was saying things like, oh, I can't wait for the 3-lane map design to be gone, and so that we can have more open and interesting maps. And my god, how wrong could I be? We've been left with maps that are so random and so open that we have absolutely no hope of being able to predict where any enemies are coming from. Now I know that this plays into the more realistic feel that they were hoping to get with Modern Warfare, but in reality what we have been left with is a game that is so catered to hiding and camping in a corner with your thumb up your ass and your gun pointed at the doorway. And let's be honest, if you are a semi-competent player at Call of Duty, this is the last thing that you want. So going forward, in Cold War, we have already seen from the other YouTubers that have posted their gameplay that the maps, or at least some of them, that we will be getting will be going back to that classic 3-lane Treyarch design. My argument for going to a more open one before Modern Warfare's release was that it offered more variety, and that some people were saying that in a 3-lane map you never had to learn the map specifically because they all followed the same pattern, and I thought that that was a negative. However, I truly believe now that I really took these maps for granted. Treyarch map designs, in my opinion, are some of the best that we have seen to date in this series. The reason that I think that the 3-lane map design is going to absolutely trounce the competition from Modern Warfare is the fact that you will always have 3 very distinct options for which way you can rush. Thereby you can distinguish where the action is. If the action is predominantly in the right hand lane, that means that you can use this opportunity to take a huge flank round to the left and come up behind your enemies for some sweet multi-kills. In addition to this, it does also offer some very definite lines of sight that you can hold down. If we look at Grasner Road, for example, in Modern Warfare, if you walk out into the road, I can guarantee that there are about 16 to 20 different angles and windows that you can be shot from. I mean shit, it's probably safer to let 3 3-year-olds run across the bloody motorway than let someone walk across this road in Grasner Raid. And this is the reason that I think that these maps just didn't gel as well, and they didn't offer as much gameplay flow that I would like. Anyway, moving on from the map design, I think that there is one thing that all of us want addressed, and that is the skill-based matchmaking. I realised that I sound like a broken record playing, as do many other creators when we talk about skill-based matchmaking, but the pure fact of the matter is that skill-based matchmaking is only there to provide an enjoyable experience for the less able players. Now, I know what you're thinking. What, so if I'm a less able player, does that mean I don't have the right to enjoy this game? And of course, look, I don't mean that, but my point is, if we're going to be put into these strict ranking systems, then we need to be rewarded for that. Take games like Counter-Strike Go or Rainbow Six Siege. You're in a ranked playlist, and the better you play, the higher the ranks you climb. But by implementing this into a casual gaming experience, you are essentially working to the best and the top of your ability and getting no reward. In a game like Call of Duty, where the main emphasis is on fast-paced, high-action, high-kill gameplays, what is the point if every game you play feels like the COD League? So moving on into Cold War, I would love to think that we won't be seeing such an aggressive matchmaking system. This has somewhat been confirmed by some images that we have seen during the alpha testing that we watched the YouTubers play. Basically, we saw on the UI from the menu screen the option to vote to skip a map. What this suggests is that after every game, we will be able to stay in the same lobbies. And in previous Call of Duties, one way that you can maintain having a really good lobby is by sweating it out in a lobby and making the best player on the other team lead. The general rule of thumb is that that player will then be replaced by a more average player, and as a result, as time goes on, the lobby will get easier and easier, providing that you continue to perform well. What this means for Black Ops Cold War is that we could actually be seeing more of a relaxed skill-based matchmaking system whereby it will prioritize things like latency and ping rather than just your pure skill level. This means that we could be going back to the grassroots of Call of Duty and being able to have those games where you absolutely dominate. Now, I realise that this does lend itself to being a bit more of a tough situation for people who have disabilities, but my point is, in the current system, in Modern Warfare, you are getting people who are reverse boosting to intentionally get into these lobbies and be a wolf amongst the sheep, which is good for no one. At least when there is less skill-based matchmaking in the game, it makes for a much fairer Call of Duty experience. So whilst we're on the subject of skill-based matchmaking, there is something that I think has been the hallmark of Modern Warfare, and that is to make it as noob-friendly as possible, with people like Joe Seacott saying before the game was even released that they were trying to design the maps to have so-called safe spaces, and actively encouraging people to camp and stay still in one place, while simultaneously making the footsteps so loud that you can hear them for 3 fucking matches away. This all condenses down into a game that has been built from the ground up to satisfy those who have no intention of getting better at the game, while simultaneously polarising the core community of Call of Duty that have been playing this game for years. And to be honest, I really do think that that is a massive kick in the teeth. Luckily, we have already seen some things that would suggest that they are taking active measures to alleviate this problem in Black Ops Cold War, and the main one that I wanted to talk about today was flinch. For those of you who don't know, the flinch mechanic in Call of Duty has been something that has been somewhat of a talking point for the last 5 or 6 years. It basically means that when you are aiming at someone and then they shoot their gun at you, your aim will be kicked up slightly. On the face of things, this seems like it's a bad thing, like when you're getting shot at, your aim then gets moved, but consider this. The average player who is not very good and not very accurate will most likely be aiming for center mass. That means that they'll be aiming for the stomach or the chest of someone. When they get shot, their aim gets shot upwards, meaning that their bullets are tracking from the center mass to the head, which automatically gives them an advantage. On the flip side of this, a more adept player might in fact already be aiming for the head, so when they get shot, they are taken completely off target. Now what this means is that it is another device that makes the game easier for newbie players. Now what has been said is that the flinch mechanic has been deliberately dialed down in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and instead of acting as something that will actively change where you are aiming, instead it will serve as a sort of tool to allow you to recognise that you are being shot, and therefore shot placement on the head is going to matter more than ever, as you will no longer just be kicked up towards the head by accident. Anyway, these are just some of the many things that I believe will make Black Ops Cold War a much more solid multiplayer experience than Modern Warfare has been in the last year. Please don't get me wrong, I have thoroughly enjoyed Modern Warfare and it has served me and my channel extraordinarily well. I just think that there were some massive things that needed to be improved upon for us core Call of Duty players. But yeah, and if none of this tickles your fancy, at least you can be pretty sure in the knowledge that Treyarch will be adding Nuketown back to this game. As with every Call of Duty these days, they just love recycling old games from the last decade and the heyday of Call of Duty. Anyway, that's about all I've got to say today. If you have watched my channel for a while, you'll know that I love to see who sticks around until the end of these little videos by answering a super stupid and random little question at the end. So if you're still here, I'd like you to let me know by answering this question down in the comments. Do you think that Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is going to be a better multiplayer experience than Modern Warfare? And if so, why? Anyway, that's it from me today. I'm Average Joel. Peace.